Hey, what's going on? I'm Jeremy Thoen, Marketing Director of 3PL Systems, and I'm excited to have Cameron Robertson, our CEO, kind of chat about some of the stuff that we've been working on. Cameron, I wanted to ask you, what's the deal with the Heads Together? Like, what was the point of Heads Together? What is it? And like, why did we create it?
Sure. Heads Together was a meeting that we came up with to bring all of our clients together along with our team to really understand what our clients are looking for next in the TMS that we provide to them. So it just really gives them an open floor to have a conversation with our other users as well as our team to bring up the next enhancement they want to see with inside the application, or the new integration that they want to see, or other partners that we should be looking at. And it's really neat because once we have that meeting, we have follow-up meetings later in the year where we're able to show off some of the build outs that came directly from those meetings that we have with our users.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's really what they want and what problems what brokers are facing themselves, not really what we want as a software provider. So it sounds like the Heads Together is a way of almost getting intel on like what the pulse of the market. So to keep us ahead of the game, to figure out exactly what to build and what they're looking for our clients.
Yeah, exactly. And what's really neat about it is one user may bring up a really cool enhancement or a feature they want to see. But when you have multiple people involved in the conversation from other brokers, they're able to give their input on that enhancement. So ultimately, you end up with a much stronger product at the end of it. Rather than just hearing it from one user, you get perspectives of all your users.
Any things that you could think of off the top of your head that came as a result of one of those meetings?
Yeah, there's a lot of our development is driven by that, but one of the things that we're currently looking at implementing is this OCR technology that helps read emails as well as documents directly from your system in order to create shipments directly from your email. So you never have to actually have a user create a shipment manually if your customer emails you that shipment. That's one of the things we're currently looking at delivering.
That's actually really interesting. It reminds me a little bit of the HubTran integration. Is it similar to that? And would you say that a lot of our clients are using HubTran? Because that's another integration that if I was a freight broker, I'd probably want to use, because it seems like it really lets you speed up your back office by like 4x.
Yeah, so we aren't looking to reinvent what HubTran. They're previously known as HubTran. They're known as Triumph Audit. They're purchased by Triumph, but HubTran does back office work for your accounting side of your system. Definitely not looking to replicate that. They've done an amazing job with their technology, implementing machine learning and AI to help run that application. What we're looking to do is the front end of that, to the actual shipment creation or any data that needs to be inserted into the system, prior to shipment getting created, or things like that. That's what we're looking to automate for our users, so that they don't have to watch their email all day. Instead, they could be working on ROI generating tasks, making sure that we're following up with customers, things like that.
Yeah, automation is a very interesting thing. I think that I feel like if I was a freight broker, that a lot of people are scared to use automation because they feel like they're going to replace staff, maybe, and maybe people are going to lose their jobs. But maybe it's really about, from my understanding, like repurposing the people that are working for you to do more high value work. It's not necessarily about replacing the people that you're with automation. It's more about letting them do higher value tasks. Is that how you view it as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people confuse automation for replacing jobs. It's not to just replace jobs. It's really to take the mundane work out of your workday and let the computers do that. Where your operations team really shouldn't be handling tracking and tracing. They shouldn't be handling updating a lot of data points on shipments. They should be handling exceptions. And at the end of the day, I feel that operations teams should also be considered sales reps. I mean, there's a lot of times they're going to be talking to clients where you can redeploy them to possibly bring in more business from those users. And at the end of the day, if you're utilizing a lot of automation tools, like we have ShipMind, for instance, that automates the entire lifecycle of a shipment. If you're utilizing that, you can do a lot more with less individuals. So as you scale your business, you're not having to do a ton of hiring. Instead, you can redeploy your staff to working on those items that cannot really be automated, such as client relationships. There's no such thing as automating a relationship. I feel that the relationship is the most important piece of the business. So, yeah.
Yeah. There's certain things that computers are good at, and it's usually something that's a repeatable process, but relationships are very dynamic, and
Yeah.
human to human connection is something that's probably going to be something really hard to, maybe eventually software will get to the point where it has that, but yeah, we're not there anytime,
Definitely not there.
anytime soon. But as far as like ShipMind goes too, that's a very interesting product. I know that we had one user that basically was able to do 1,700 shipments on a Saturday by himself. But I'm wondering too, like there's a lot of other brokers that probably could take advantage of ShipMind even within our own system. I'm just wondering, why do you think that people don't take advantage of things that sometimes seemingly in front of them?
A lot of the time, I'm going to say fear. Fear that it's not about replacing their job. I think it's fear that they're worried the system won't be able to handle the situation. But with build out like ShipMind, it has a lot of safety nets built in where it's going to generate an exception if it gets confused or if it knows it can't handle a certain situation. And that's going to alert your team to actually take a look at that shipment that's running through ShipMind, because ShipMind noticed something went wrong. So it's going to tell you, hey, look at this. Something happened. ShipMind's a really powerful tool. I've seen it used heavily by a few of our clients, and it's worked very, very well. Especially for your customers that have what I call milk run shipments. It's the same shipment on repeat every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday going out from their warehouse. Those should all be automated. If you're doing any manual labor around that, I would say that's actually a waste of your team's time and inefficient. That should definitely all be automated, whether it's through ShipMind or utilizing tools such as EDI or API.
So if you are scared of using a tool like ShipMind, and let's just say you could always do like a sample set, right? You don't necessarily have to
Yeah.
automate like 100 shipments all at once and then let it ride. Like you could always start off with a small sample set, right? Of like 5 or 10 maybe, and then like really do like a lot of audits if like you are maybe anxiety ridden for whatever reason about automation.
Yeah, we actually recommend it. So if anyone was to take advantage of ShipMind, we would recommend that you set it up on a single client of yours that you feel comfortable with, and just run it with them and see how it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then don't use it. But we're here to support our users if they take advantage of that. And there's other systems out there that have similar tools. So if you're not utilizing BrokerWare, I would definitely recommend you reach out to your TMS provider and ask them, what type of tools do you have that would help me with automation? It's one of those things. You may currently have a TMS provider and you just don't know what they have to offer, right? So just reach out to them, have a conversation.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because even like electronic dispatch like that, even maybe 5-7 years ago wasn't like super. It was just seemed like it was just sort of coming out in the freight world, but now it seems like it's pretty widely used, and that's like one example of something that I feel like people are really taking advantage of. Would you say that as well? Like a lot of users are using like e-dispatch now?
Oh yeah, it's been widely adopted since we first integrated electronic dispatch as a company, and version 1 of our software is I think 2012, 2013. We've seen wide adoption since then. I'd say a majority of our clients are utilizing API or EDI to handle that now. I would say more so API than EDI these days. So it's definitely been highly adopted. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really nice technology, and we have about what 70 LTL carriers, would you say right now, in API for rating?
Over 80 LTL carriers built in directly into the application. Yeah.
Wow, that's quite a bit. So we do handle LTL pretty well, or obviously really well, probably the best of pretty much anyone out there. What about truckload? I know we talked a little bit about this last week, but as far as truckload capabilities go, do we handle that for the folks that don't know that out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we revamped our entire truckload portal. So that is pretty much all new. We handle truckload, LTL, drayage, rail. We even have a partner for air freight. We have a partner for parcel. We handle a lot more modes than just LTL. I know historically as a company, 3PL was known as a grade A, it's platinum provider for LTL, but BrokerWare version 2 has really expanded into other modes of transportation. And we're working with clients of ours who we consider our partners to even expand those modes that we currently support. So it's really exciting for us.